If you want, please turn off your mic. If you have any question, you can unmute, no problem. Let's start our discussion now. This training is related with Palo Alto Firewall device. My name is Jeetu Jaswal, and I will be your instructor for this complete training. Let's talk about topic discussion first.
Jitu, can I take 1 minute of your time before you start?
Sure.
So, Jitu, probably except for me, everybody is non-technical. Just wanted you to keep that in mind.
Sure, no problem. I will
Okay?
start. I will
Okay.
go with the scratch, no problem. I will go with the basic implementation. Ranveer, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, please turn off your mic. Okay, let's start our discussion now. And we are trying to focus on topic discussion first. What topic we can cover in our complete training. So this is Palo Alto Firewall box, Palo Alto Firewall training. And what is the target audience to start this training program? Target audience is security engineer, security administrator, security operation specialist, and network administrator, network engineer. So they are the target audience for Palo Alto Firewall training. What is the minimum requirement? What is the minimum requirement for this training? So you need to have basic idea about routing concept, switching concept, IP addressing. In case if you have idea about some security terms like what is IPS, proxy, content filtering, so that is good. And if you don't know, no problem, we can discuss here in our firewall training. These are the 16 modules we have. These are the 16 modules we have in our complete training. This training will take minimum 22 to 24 hours. 20 to 24 hours. What I will provide you from my side, I will provide you slides and notes. So we have proper notes for each topic. Proper notes for each topic. For example, if we are discussing about NAT concept or security policy or interface configuration or routing configuration, we have proper notes for each concept. So after this session, after this session, I will share with you slides and notes. And lab setup software. For practice, we can use lab setup software. Are you guys familiar with EVNG software pack? Everyone? Are you guys familiar with EVNG software?
No, I'm not.
EVNG is a software, okay? In EVNG, you can, let me show you. In EVNG, you can create your design. This is EVNG software. Here you can create a design, for example, for site-to-site VPN implementation, we can create design like this. I will share this software with you. You can install it. If you face any issue to install the software, I can help you, no problem. This EVNE software pack, it's a approx 70 GB file. 70 GB file. You can just install VMware software. In VMware software, you can import this EVNG full pack software. And we have all the images. We have all the images pre-installed into this EVNG software. All the images, router, switch, any firewall device, ASA, Palo Alto, FortiGate, Checkpoint. All the devices are pre-installed. You can just import in VMware and you can start your practice. After this session, I will share with you. Now let's focus on topic discussion today. So total, we have 16 modules to discuss in our training. Our first topic is next generation security platform and architecture. This is the first topic. So if you guys are familiar with any other vendor like Cisco or Juniper, okay, if you are familiar with CCNA training, for example, basic CCNA training. So remember, if you remember, we need router device, we need switches device for our infra, and we can go with, I'm talking about product family, okay? You can go with entry-level router device, entry-level switch device. For a small organization, I can go with some entry-level routers. So like router and switches, if you have idea about router and switches, same, if we are learning Palo Alto firewall device, we need to know the product family. Okay, which firewall product is suitable for your organization. So here we can discuss about hardware firewall device, hardware firewall device and VM firewall box. Yes, in Palo Alto, we have option for VM firewall box. Like other vendor, like in FortiGate, in Checkpoint, in Cisco FTD, we have option for VM firewall box. Like if you are working in an AWS scenario or Azure network, then you can go with VM firewall box. So here we can discuss about product family first. We can discuss about Palo Alto SP3 architecture. SP3 architecture. This is called single path parallel processing, or you can say single path parallel processing. This is next generation firewall feature. Okay, it was introduced by Palo Alto, but now every vendor using SP3 architecture. What is SP3 architecture? What is control plane in firewall device? What is data plane in firewall device? We can discuss in detail. So here you can discuss next generation security platform and architecture. SP3 is what? It's a SP3 architecture. After module number 1, we can go for deployment. We can go for deployment, for example, how to deploy Palo Alto firewall device in virtual and cloud environment. For example, if I want to deploy Palo Alto firewall device in VMware, in EXXI network, in AWS scenario, here you can discuss the deployment option. Now, initial configuration, you can say initial configuration, or you can say day one with Palo Alto firewall device. Day one with Palo Alto firewall device. Initial configuration. For example, if I have a Palo Alto firewall box, how to access with CLI option, how to access with graphical page, how to access with the graphical page. So here we can discuss how to access with CLI, how to use graphical page. So 90 to 95% configuration we will configure through graphical page, graphical option like other vendors. 90 to 95% configuration we can configure with graphical page. Now, how to go with backup and restore, configuration backup and restore, how to upgrade our signatures, how to upgrade our PAN OS operating system. So all the initial option, all the basic command we can discuss. Basic command in CLI and all the basic option in graphical page, we can discuss in initial configuration. It means only this topic. Module number 3 will take minimum 2 to 3 hours, only basic configuration. After initial configuration, we can move for interface configuration. And like other vendor, we can configure physical interface. We can go with the logical interface option. Physical interface means what? Like fast Ethernet interface 0/0, gigabit Ethernet interface 0/0. We can configure our physical interfaces. So like other vendor, we can go with physical interface configuration and we can go with logical interface configuration. What is logical interface? Any idea about logical interface, everyone? Aarti, Aswani, Rajat, Ramit, Shayukta, Tuhin, Rupa. Guys, do you have any idea about any logical interface?
So, Jitu, the team probably still doesn't know about what a physical interface is.
Okay.
Guys, have you ever seen RJ45?
Okay, loopback is a logical interface, everyone. Loopback is a logical interface. We have an option for sub interfaces here. Sub interfaces, loopback interface, tunnel interface. These are called logical interfaces. These topics are related with basic networking. So if you have idea about basic logical configuration, interface option, you can implement in firewall device. Palo Alto is giving option. If you have idea about logical interface concept, you can configure in Palo Alto firewall box like other vendor. So physical interface option and logical interface option is available. Now, in physical interface configuration, we can talk about Palo Alto interface type. We can talk about Palo Alto interface type. So whenever you are trying to configure any interface in Palo Alto Firewall device, you can go with interface type concept. You can select your interface as a L3 interface. L3 interface type, you can go with L2 interface type. You can go with tap interface concept. You can go with virtual wire, HA interface. These are called Palo Alto interface type. Whenever you are configuring any interface, any physical interface, you need to select your interface type. We have proper discussion. Yes, Rajat?
So Jitu, are you referring that if we are installing any network interface card or USB ports as well, these are termed in this interface with Palo?
Can you please repeat your question again, Rajat?
So if we are installing the USB ports or Ethernet ports or network interface cards,
Mm-hmm.
does that come in this interface itself?
Yes, yes. See, in
Okay,
devices, we have interfaces, okay? In
okay.
devices, we have interfaces. We need to configure our interfaces like LAN interface, WAN interface, and DMZ interface. Whenever you are configuring, you are trying to configure your interface in Palo Alto Firewall device, you need to select interface type
Hmm,
first.
hmm, hmm, hmm.
You need to select interface type first. And these are the options we have for interface type.
Real-time
We can
platform.
discuss in detail what is the
Yes,
use
sure,
of,
sure.
we can discuss in detail what is the use of L3 interface type, in which scenario you can go with L2 interface type, what is tap interface concept, what is virtual WAN. So in module number 4, we can discuss interface configuration and we can also discuss the routing. You can see everyone, routing is not mentioned here. Routing concept is not mentioned, but routing is important. In interface configuration, we can focus on routing implementation. Routing implementation, yes, this is next generation firewall device. So we need to focus on next generation firewall feature. Yes. But like other vendor, Palo Alto is giving you option in case if you want to configure the routing here, because it's a firewall box. It's a L3 device. It's a L3 device, like a router. In case if you want to configure routing, for example, you are working in a branch office. In a branch office, you don't have any router. You have only a firewall device. You have only a firewall device. And you are connecting your firewall device with internet. So you need to configure routing on firewall box, default routing, static routing, or dynamic routing option. So routing, we can focus here in interface configuration. Only this topic, this module number 4 will take minimum 3 to 4 hours. Only this topic, interface configuration. Here we can also discuss what is virtual router concept, what is security zone, how to create security zone, what is management profile. These options we can discuss in interface configuration. Now, module number 5, in module number 5, we have 2 topics. In module number 5, NAT policy, and security policy. We have 2 topics in module number 5. So Palo Alto, checkpoint, FTD. These are called JBF firewall device, zone-based firewall. FortiGate is not a zone-based firewall device. Cisco ASA is not a zone-based firewall device. But Palo Alto, checkpoint, and FTD, these are called JBF firewall device. So in case if you are working with any zone-based firewall, so you can create zone here. For example, I have Palo Alto firewall box. So this side I'm using as a LAN side portion. This side I have a switch. I can connect multiple computers. This is my private network, so I can use as a LAN zone. Now this portion is your ISP side portion, public side network. So this side I'm using as a WAN side portion, WAN zone. So in Palo Alto firewall device, you can create zone here. And if you want to allow your traffic from one zone to another zone, from LAN zone to WAN zone, if you want to allow your traffic, you need to configure security policy. You need to configure security policy here. In Palo Alto, you can say security policy. In Checkpoint, you can say access control policy. And in FTD, you can say access policy. In FortiGate, you can say firewall policy. In Cisco ASA, you can say ACL concept. It's a common topic. It's a common topic. In Palo Alto Firewall, you can say security policy. To allow our traffic from one zone to another zone, we need to create policies here. So in case if I want to configure 100 firewall policy, 200 firewall policy, I want to modify, I want to delete, what is policy order? Okay, so these options we can discuss in module number 5 in security policy, how to work with security policies and how to create. So to allow our traffic from one zone to another zone, for example, from LAN to WAN side, we need to create policy. But in case if traffic is traveling from private network to public network, this LAN portion is what? It's a private network. And this WAN side is what? It's a public network. So if you want to send your traffic from private network to public network, then you need translation. You need translation. If you guys remember in basic CCNA training, we have a NAT concept. Yes, this option is available here in Palo Alto Firewall device. NAT policies. NAT policy. If traffic is traveling from private network to public network, we need translation. We need to translate our private IP into public IP. And for NAT in firewall device, we have two type of NAT implementation. Source NAT and destination NAT. If you remember NAT concept from basics CCNA training, so yes, we have three type of NAT here in basic CCNA training: static NAT, dynamic NAT, and PAT option. Any idea about these options? Aarti, Ashwini, Rajat, Ravneet, Rupa, Shayukta, Tuhi, Vivek. Any idea about any NAT concept, static, dynamic, and PAT?
I don't have any idea about it.
I do have an idea, but I don't recall that because it's been a very long time and at the time of graduation.
Okay, no problem. See, static NAT, if you guys remember, static NAT, we are using for one-to-one translation. With the static NAT, we can map one private IP with one public IP. In dynamic NAT, we can create a range of public IP here. And PAT is a popular option. In PAT, we can translate multiple private IP address with single public IP. So these are the options we have in NAT, in router. Okay, in router. But if you go with the firewall box, if you go with the firewall device, with any firewall device, any firewall box, in any firewall box, you can implement two type of NAT, source NAT here and destination NAT. So first we can revise in our NAT topic, we can revise our basic NAT implementation. Then we can discuss about the scenario for source NAT and for destination NAT and how to configure. It means only this module number 5. This module number 5 is very important because once you complete this module number 5, then you have an idea how to allow our traffic through the firewall box. How traffic is traveling through the firewall box. Only this topic, module number 5, will take minimum 5 to 6 hours because we have two topics, security policies and NAT policies. Now, these are app ID, content ID, URL filtering, decryption, WildFire, user ID. These are what? These are called next generation firewall feature. What is app ID? What is app ID? For example, I have firewall device, Palo Alto firewall device. This is LAN side portion. This is WAN side network. Now, as per your security policy, now you have an idea if you want to allow your traffic from LAN network to WAN side network. If you want to allow your traffic from LAN to WAN side network, yes, you need to configure security policy. Yes, I have a security policy. Because of security policy, traffic is traveling. Inside machine can establish its connection with outside server. Now within a session, for example, inside machine is trying to access Facebook application. For example, trying to access a YouTube application. So I want to block Facebook application, YouTube application in my network. So we can do this with app ID concept. In Palo Alto, we have concept app ID, application identification. Palo Alto is a next generation firewall device. This firewall can detect application behalf of application signature data. And yes, we have application signature data. This is called Palo Alto Applipedia. Let me show you. Palo Alto Applipedia. This is a live database. Here you can verify Palo Alto Firewall can detect. This is live database, applipedia.paloaltonetworks.com. So Palo Alto Firewall can detect right now 5,141 application, a big database. These are application signature data. How to create application signature data? This is not our task. This is Palo Alto engineers' responsibility. They can do research. They can create application signature. If your device is registered with Palo Alto network, if you have proper license, then yes, you can download all the application signature data from updates.paloaltonetworks.com. So you need proper license. You need proper license to download latest signature update, latest application signature. My point is, if you have latest signature update, then your firewall can detect application. I want to work with any specific application like Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn application, or in case if I'm looking for application group, for example, I want to block all gaming category application. I don't know which application is a part of gaming category or which application is a part of social networking, but I want to block complete category. I can do this with app ID concept, application identification. In FortiGate, you can say application control. In Checkpoint, you can say application control. In FTD, you can say app ID. Here in Palo Alto, you can say app ID. So it's a next generation firewall feature. Now the next option is content ID. Content ID, or you can say security profiles. Content ID, or you can say security profile. In Palo Alto firewall device, it's a common concept. In Palo Alto firewall, you can create security profile. In FortiGate, you can create security profile. These are next generation firewall feature. So for example, we have a policy. Security policy, and because of security policy, this inside machine can establish its connection with outside server. And now within a live session, this inside machine is trying to download a file. And maybe this file is infected with some malicious code. This file is infected with some virus, for example. Then only your security policy cannot detect this malicious activity. Only the security policy cannot detect. Because in security policy, we can only add what? Source zone, source IP, destination zone, destination IP. We can add these information, then we can allow our traffic. Source IP, destination IP, source zone, destination zone. That's it. And service and protocol. So we can add only L3 and L4 information in security policy. L3 means what? Source IP, destination IP. L4 means what? Service or protocol. So we can add only L3 and L4 information in security policy. So firewall can check what is source IP, what is destination IP, what service or protocol you are trying to access. That's it. And traffic is traveling. Now within a live session, inside machine is trying to download a file, and maybe this file is infected with some virus. So malicious code. Then only your security policy cannot detect this. For this, you can go with security profile option. You can go with security profile. Into this scenario, you can create antivirus profile. You can create antivirus profile. And this antivirus profile you can attach with security policy. Now this antivirus profile can detect viruses. Behalf of antivirus signature database. And this antivirus signature database you can download from updates.paloaltonetworks.com, but you need proper license. If your device is registered, if you have proper license, then you can download latest antivirus signature data. If you have up-to-date signature database, then yes, your firewall can detect latest attack. So antivirus profile, antivirus, it's a security profile. Antivirus, it's a security profile. Vulnerabilities protection profile, it's a security profile. Anti-spyware, it's a security profile. File blocking profile, file blocking, URL filtering. So these are what? These are called next generation firewall features. Next generation firewall feature. If you want to utilize, if you want to utilize antivirus profile, vulnerabilities protection profile, anti-spyware profile, to utilize these profiles, you need to buy a single license. I will tell you in detail, okay? Maybe when we will discuss this topic, I will tell you in detail. But right now, I'm giving you the basic idea. To utilize these 3 security profile, you need to buy a single license. This is called threat prevention license. You need to buy threat prevention license. Threat prevention license. To utilize antivirus profile, vulnerabilities protection profile, anti-spyware profile. Now, what is file blocking? What is file blocking? With file blocking, you can work with file type or you can work with file extension. File type or file extension. For example, in my network, I don't want to allow exe file or PDF file. No one can upload or download. No one can upload and download exe and PDF file in my network. For this, we can go with file blocking profile. What is URL filtering? What is URL filtering? With URL filtering, you can work with any specific website or any specific URL. For example, I want to block this website, this URL. I don't know anything about this URL, but I want to block. I can do this with URL filtering profile. You can allow, block, or monitor any specific URL, or in case if you want to block complete website category. For example, I want to block all shopping category website. I want to block all hacking category websites. I can do this with URL filtering concept. Yes, Aarti.
So I have a question here. For example, in an organization, we do not have the access to, for example, say HR data. So does that come in a file, this thing content, or is it like, does it come under content ID? That
See,
example.
content ID is a topic. In
Mm-hmm.
content ID, we have multiple terms. These are the
Right.
terms. Okay.
Right.
You can say content ID topic, or you can say security profile topic. It's the same.
Okay.
In security profile, we can go with multiple options. These are security profile or next generation firewall features. Next generation firewall feature, Aarti.
Right.
Can you please repeat your question again?
So, for example, we do not have the access to HR data, right? So HR says that, none of the employees should be able to access our data. What category does that fall into?
See, maybe in your firewall device, they block, for example, you are trying to access Excel file, okay? Excel file, or you are trying to access PDF file.
Right.
Maybe, I'm not sure. Maybe it's blocked by firewall device, maybe.
Okay, but then if that's an Excel file, it will block all the Excel file, right?
If traffic is traveling through the firewall device, then you can say maybe it will block by file blocking.
Okay.
So you cannot access only data, right? The rest
Right.
information you can access.
Yeah. Okay.
The
Okay, I
rest
get that.
information you can access. exe and PDF file. If traffic is traveling through, my point is what? If traffic is traveling through the firewall box, If traffic is not traveling through the firewall box, maybe it is blocked by file blocking. But I'm not sure about it, okay?
Got it.
I'm not sure, but these are the options. And see, if you block by Palo Alto firewall device, for example, if you block by Palo Alto firewall device, you will get a proper response page. You will
Okay.
get a proper response page. Okay, you are blocked by firewall device. If you block, if I would block anything, firewall will give you response page always.
Okay.
If
I get that.
inside machine is not getting any response page, it means it is not blocked by firewall device.
Okay.
Okay. So these are everyone. Any other question? Yes.
Related to file blocking, so if there is any particular file that's residing locally in the server, are we only supposed to
Here
block
we have file extension data, Ashwini.
Okay.
File extension data, for example, exe file, PDF file, docs file, Excel file. We have a database here. You can
So we
just
are blocking with the help of an
file
extension.
extension. Yes, please complete your question first.
I was asking, like, are we only using this file blocking just to go ahead and block anything that's locally saved on the server? Or if there is anything on, say, G Drive or anything on iCloud?
No, you can only work with extension.
Just
If
the
a client
extension.
is trying to access any file extension, and if traffic is traveling through the firewall device, you can block it.
Got it. Thank you.
Yes. Now, these are called next generation firewall features, or you can say content ID topic. Content ID. Content ID or security profile. These two are what? Security profile concept. So now we know to allow our traffic, we can create security policy. To detect any viruses, we can create antivirus profile. So for example, I have a design. I have one Palo Alto firewall device. This portion is a LAN side portion. This side is your ISP side network. On ISP side, you have a server. So as per your security policy, this inside machine can establish its connection, no problem. And now you have antivirus profile to detect viruses within a live session. So you can create antivirus profile, you can attach with security policy. Perfect. We have security policy to allow our traffic. We have antivirus profile to detect viruses data. Now, in case if this complete connection, everyone, if this complete connection is HTTPS connection, if this complete connection is what? HTTPS connection, or you can say SSL connection, then your firewall cannot detect malicious activity here. No, because HTTPS connection or SSL connection it's an encrypted connection. It's an encrypted connection. Then your firewall cannot detect. You have up-to-date signature database. But your firewall cannot detect virus information within a HTTPS connection. Clear my point? Any firewall device, this is drawback. This is drawback of any firewall box, any next generation firewall device. That's why we can create, like we are working in Palo Alto. That's why we can create here in Palo Alto, we can create decryption policy. In Palo Alto, we can create decryption policy. In FortiGate, you can create SSL policy. In Checkpoint, you can create HTTPS inspection. In FTD, you can create decryption policy. It's a common concept. So you can create decryption policy to decrypt HTTPS traffic. Yes, firewall can decrypt. Yes, firewall can decrypt HTTPS traffic. Yes, can decrypt HTTPS traffic. And once firewall will decrypt HTTPS traffic, it will look like normal HTTP. And once it will look like normal HTTP, then your antivirus profile can detect malicious activity. So any next generation firewall device can decrypt HTTPS traffic. For this, you can create decryption policy. Next topic, we can discuss about, yes, any question?
SSL that you refer to, that is the security protocol, secure socket layer you're referring to, right?
Yes. SSL, you can say SSL connection or you can say HTTPS connection. It's the same.
Okay. Thank you.
SSL connection or HTTPS connection, both are same.
Got it.
HTTPS connection or SSL connection, it's an encrypted connection. For example, I'm trying to access ICICbank.com. This is SSL connection, Ronit. This is SSL connection.
Okay.
If you click on here, you can see you are getting a message connection is secure.
Secure. Okay.
No one can decrypt it.
Okay.
It's SSL connection. It's HTTPS connection. Now, so we can, in Palo Alto Firewall device, we can create decryption policy to decrypt our HTTPS traffic. Now, what is WildFire concept? What is WildFire? In Palo Alto, we have WildFire concept. If you go with FortiGate, we have Forti sandbox. If you go with the checkpoint, we have sandboxing concept. So what is WildFire? What is the scenario? So we have security policy to allow our traffic. We have antivirus profile to detect malicious activity. So now inside machine, for example, inside machine trying to download a file from this outside server, and maybe this file is infected with virus, but it's a latest attack. My point is, it's a latest attack, and in your firewall device, you don't have signature database. It's a latest attack. In your firewall box, you don't have signature database. You don't have antivirus signature database. Into this scenario, then this inside machine will download this file, this malicious file, can install it. Your antivirus profile cannot detect because you don't have signature. This type of scenario is called zero-day attack. When you don't have signature in your firewall device, when you don't have signature in your firewall box, this type of attack is called zero-day attack. Yes. Any question, Ashwini?
No question. Like when you said it's like a sandbox similar environment. So my understanding is like rather than going ahead directly on the main production machine, it will just take it to a live test environment, test it there, and if everything is okay, then it transfers the data forward to the production environment. Is that the concept?
We have it's not same, but yes, if you have Wildfire concept in Palo Alto, so inside machine can access. If you enable Wildfire in Palo Alto Firewall device, then Palo Alto will send a copy of this file to Wildfire public cloud to do static analysis, to do dynamic analysis, to verify this file is a malicious file or not. Everyone? Wildfire concept we are using for latest attack. To detect latest attack, we can go with Wildfire concept. I will tell you in detail, but right now I'm giving you an idea. To detect latest attack, we can go with Wildfire concept. This is called sandboxing technology. We have two options. We can go with public Wildfire cloud analysis system. We can go with private cloud analysis system. We have two options. I will tell you in detail. Wildfire. Now, what is user ID? So, wait. So what is user ID? I have one Palo Alto Firewall device, for example, one Palo Alto Firewall device. And this side, we have some LAN computers. This side, LAN computers. And this side, we are using as a ISP side portion. As per your security policy, traffic is traveling from LAN zone to WAN side network. Traffic is traveling because of security policy. And in security policy, what information you can add? You can add what is source zone, what is source IP, what is destination zone, destination IP, service and protocol. Then you can take action. For example, I want to allow my traffic. I can take action, allow. Now, because of this security policy, this inside machine, for example, 192, 168.10.10 can communicate with this outside server 8.8.8.8 because of this rule. Okay, this policy name is rule 1, for example. Because of rule number 1, traffic is traffic. Traffic is traffic. Inside machine can communicate with this 8.8.8. Perfect, no problem. Now, as a firewall administrator, in case if I want to verify log information, if someone will hit on rule number 1, I want to verify log information. And in logs, I can only get source zone information. What is traffic source zone? What is source IP? What is destination zone? What is destination IP? That's it. I only have IP address information in logs. In logs, I can only verify IP address information. I don't know which user account, because maybe multiple users are working with this machine. Multiple users. I don't have full visibility. I have only IP address information. I don't know which user account is trying to access this malicious file. Which user account is trying to access this malicious application, malicious file, malicious application, malicious link. I don't have full visibility. I have only IP address information. So in case if I'm looking for full visibility, so we can go with user ID topic. In Palo Alto, you can say user ID. In FortiGate, you can say firewall authentication topic. In checkpoint, you can say identity awareness. Same concept we have. It's called identity awareness. If you go with the Cisco FTD, we have identity policy concept. It's a common concept. For full visibility in Palo Alto, we can go with user ID. What we can do, we can create user account here. We can create user account. And to create user account, we have two options. We can create user account in Palo Alto Firewall local database. Yes, in case if you are working with 5 to 10 users, if you want to create 5 to 10 user account, no problem. You can create in Palo Alto Firewall local storage, in local database. You can create. And these user accounts you can utilize in your policy. You can create user account in local database. But in case if you are working in a big network, where you have a remote authentication server, for example, you have a remote authentication servers like you have Radius server, RADIUS, remote authentication dialing user service, or maybe you have TechX server or LDAP server, lightweight directory access protocol, LDAP, or you can say Microsoft Active Directory domain and server. So these are, everyone, these are what? These are called remote database. How to create Radius and TechX? This is not our task. How to create Radius and TechX server? So to create Radius and TechX server, we need Cisco ICE engineer. In network, we need Cisco ICE engineer. In Cisco ICE device, you can configure Radius server, you can prepare TechX server. For LDAP and for Microsoft Active Directory, you need in your network MCSA certified. It means Microsoft Server Administrator, Microsoft Certified Server Administrator, or MCSE. You need MCSA and MCSE engineer in your network. They can prepare LDAP server or AD server. These are remote database. So in our training, I will show you. How to use local database, or in case if you are working in a centralized environment, for example, in your network, you have LDAP server. Yes, I will show you. We can prepare Microsoft Active Directory. I want to show you how to go with remote authentication data. Wait. Everyone, can you hear me? Everyone,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah,
So
we
now,
can.
now we can go with what? Remote authentication database. Yes, we can prepare one AD server. I can show you how to do integration in between Palo Alto Firewall, how to do integration in between Palo Alto Firewall and AD server. We can prepare one AD server. It will take maximum 20 to 25 minutes. And it's required, okay, because in case if you are looking for testing with any firewall device, in testing scenario, okay, if you are looking for LDAP authentication, LDAP integration in any firewall device, you need to know how to prepare LDAP server in a testing scenario. So we can prepare one LDAP server. It will take maximum 20 to 25 minutes. And we'll discuss how to do integration. We'll discuss how to do integration with Palo Alto firewall device. For example, you have Active Directory and your domain name is abc.com. This is your domain name. So these are, for example, these are domain users. These are domain users. Domain users. They are the part of this Active Directory. Active Directory. All the user accounts are available into this centralized database. Yes. In Active Directory, all the user accounts are available into this centralized database. And you can tell it to your firewall device, you can use remote database for user authentication. So these are domain users. All the user accounts are available into this centralized database. Users can log in with username and password into this machine. They can initiate their traffic. They can initiate their traffic, and in policy, now you can add source user information. Now you can add your source user information. So if inside domain user, he will log in with his username and password. He can initiate his traffic. He can hit on firewall device. Firewall can check now. This time, firewall can check now with source zone, with source IP. Firewall can check source user information. And if is there any policy available for this source user, any policy available, then yes, traffic is traveling. If traffic is traveling through the firewall device, so this time you have full visibility. This time you have information which user account is trying to access this file. You have domain user information. In case if you have some guest user, for example, if you have some guest user, these are what? These are domain users. They are the part of Active Directory. They are the part of Active Directory. But in case if you have some guest user in your network, then you have some guest user. They are temporary users. They are not permanent users. They are guest users. So I cannot join these computers in Active Directory. Why? Because they are what? They are guest users. I cannot join in Active Directory. So for guest user full visibility, we can go with captive portal feature. Captive portal concept. It's a common topic. We have same concept in Cisco FTD, same concept we have in Checkpoint. In Checkpoint, you can say browser-based authentication. And in FortiGate, you can say captive portal. In Palo Alto, you can say captive portal. So for guest user full visibility, we can enable captive portal feature. We can enable captive portal feature on this LAN interface. Here we can enable captive portal feature. And for guest user, we can create some user account in local database, or in case if you want to use centralized database, no problem. You can create some user account for guest users. As a firewall admin, you can provide username and password to each guest user. So this guest user, for example, this guest machine, okay, he can connect his cable, and in your network, you have DSCP server. This DSCP server is providing all the IP address information, IP address, mask, gateway, DNS entry, all the IP address information. He has proper IP address configuration. Now, this inside machine, this guest user, he can initiate his traffic. and traffic will hit on this LAN interface. And on this LAN interface, you enable captive portal. If you enable captive portal here, then firewall will provide him a captive portal page. Firewall will provide him a captive portal page. Now this guest user, he need to authenticate this captive portal page with his username and password. To access any resources, he need to authenticate first with his username and password. And if this inside machine, if he is successfully authenticated, and if there is any policy for this user account, traffic is traveling. If traffic is traveling, then yes, this time you have full visibility for your domain user, you have full visibility for your guest user. So this is user ID topic. We can discuss both options. We can go with domain user authentication. We can go with guest user authentication. Are they clear? Ashwini, Rajat, Ravneet. Can we take a break for 8 minutes, everyone?
Yeah, I like understood the concept of the domain user and guest user. Wanted to check like if there is a single sign-on authentication required.
Single sign-on is a different.
anything-
No, it's not our topic.
Nothing changes here, right?
Single sign-on is a different concept. Single sign-on is a different concept. Here we see single sign-on. It's a concept with single sign-on. With single user account, you can utilize all the services, Ashwani. Okay. With single user account, you can do all your tasks, right? You can do all your tasks with single sign-on. It's a separate concept. Here we are using only database, remote database, and local database for our user account authentication. Clear? Single sign-on, this is not our topic.
Okay.
Clear now, everyone? Can we take a break for 7 minutes?
Yeah, sure.
It's a 6:53. We can continue at 7 p.m. Please turn off your mic.
Okay.
थायराइड की दवाई के बाद 45 मिनट के बाद चेक करें। मैं तुम्हें एक और दवाई दे रहा हूँ थायराइड की, हर्बल, वो भी खाओ साथ में। वो भी खाएंगे लेकिन अभी तो Rajat, there were supposed to be 9 people. One person hasn't joined.
But the other, there was a girl in the recruitment team. I had a word with Vivek. She left, and
Okay.
there have to be 9 instead of 10.
Mm-hmm. Chal, it's all right. So Ashwini, regarding your single sign-on question, I'll take it offline, right?
Okay, sir.
Hi everyone, can you hear me? R3, Ashwini, Rajat, Ravneet,
Yep,
Krupa,
Hi.
Shayukta, Tuhir, Vic.
Great.
Okay, let's continue our discussion now.
Sure.
Now, next topic we can discuss about VPN implementation. These two topics are related with VPN implementation. If you talk about a VPN implementation, so first we can discuss what is VPN, virtual private network, why we need VPN concept, what is encryption, hashing, Diffie-Hellman. And now in implementation, we can talk about two types of VPN implementation. First, IPsec VPN, and second is what? SSL VPN. IPsec we are using for site to site VPN connectivity. Site to site VPN connectivity. For example, you have branch office A and branch office B. If you want to connect these two branch office over this public network in a secure manner, if you want to connect these two branch office over this public network, over this untrusted network in a secure manner, then you can establish a connection first. You can establish a VPN tunnel connection. This is what site-to-site VPN tunnel. Site-to-site VPN. For branch-to-branch connectivity, we can go with site-to-site VPN. And for site-to-site, we have option IPsec. That's why you can say IPsec site-to-site VPN implementation. We have one more type of VPN. It's called remote access. Remote access VPN. What is remote access VPN? In remote access VPN, outside users, you can say, or remote user, you can say, or home user, you can say. Outside users, they are trying to access company private resources. For example, this side your DMG network. In DMG network, you have multiple servers, and these servers are publicly allowed for outside users. So my point is, this outside remote user or home user, he has a Wi-Fi modem at his home, or you can say he has internet connectivity. He has internet connectivity. He's trying to access company private resources over this public network. So he can establish a connection first. With his mobile phone, laptop, and desktop with this VPN gateway device. And once this connection will establish, then yes, this outside user can access private resources. This type of connection is called remote access VPN connection. This connection is a complete encrypted connection, secure communication. No one can decrypt. So this type of connection is called remote access. If you are connecting to branch office A and branch office B, you can say site to site. In remote access VPN, outside users can try to access company private resources. And to configure remote access VPN, we have an option SSL. We have option SSL, secure socket layer, SSL connection. So for site to site, we have module number 13. And for remote access VPN implementation, we have Global Protect. Yes, in Palo Alto Firewall device, we have VPN client software. What you can do, you can install VPN client software. This outside user, he can install VPN client software. This is called Global Protect. And with VPN client software, he can establish his connection. This outside users, they can establish their connection. Global Protect, it's a remote access VPN software, VPN client software, you can say. So module number 12 for remote access, and module number 13 is for site-to-site VPN implementation. Here we can discuss what is IPsec, what is SSL, what is the difference in between IPsec and SSL, what is IPsec phase 1, phase 2, what is phase 1 protocol, what is ISAC-MP, what is IKE, what is ESP protocol. So we can discuss in detail. Only these two modules will take minimum 3 to 4 hours. Now, next topic is what? monitoring and reporting. This topic is very important. Module number 14 is very important. To troubleshoot your network, you need to verify log information. Once you configure everything, for example, interface configuration, routing configuration, policy configuration, next generation firewall feature, VPN configuration, everything is okay. Now, what is next task? Next task to verify log information. For example, VPN tunnel up, VPN tunnel down. I need to verify log information. What is the issue? Okay, as per my policy, I'm trying to deny, for example, this machine, but this machine can access application. This machine can access, but as per my policy, I want to deny this machine to access any application, but this machine can access all the application. What is the issue? So in monitoring and reporting, we can verify log information. If someone will hit on security policy, yes, I'm looking for logs. If someone will hit on NAT policy, I'm looking for log. If someone trying to access virus file, I'm looking for logs. So in monitoring and reporting, we are not configuring anything. No, we are not configuring anything. In monitoring and reporting, we are trying to verify all type of logs. And to store our logs, we have two options. To store our logs, we have two options. We can store all the logs in local database. Yes, you can store all the logs in Palo Alto Firewall local storage, local database. But in case if you are working a big network, every day you are receiving too much log, for example, 2000 logs, 3000 logs, 5000 logs, and you want to send these logs on remote logging server. For example, in your network, you have syslog server, or maybe in your network, you have SNMP server. So how to send logs on SNMP and on syslog? Yes, we can discuss. I will show you how to send logs on any remote logging server and how to store logs in our local database. We can verify all type of logs: traffic log, threat log, URL filtering logs, VPN tunnel logs, user logs, system logs. We can verify all type of logs. We can also capture our packet. Here we can discuss packet capture option. Like other firewall device, you can capture your packet and it is in a PCAP format. If you guys are familiar with Wireshark, Wireshark is a packet capturing tool. In Wireshark, you can get a detailed information about packets. So my point is, in like other firewall device, you can download, you can capture your live packet information. You can capture live packet information. You can download this file. You can open in Wireshark in packet capturing tool, and you can verify detailed information about packets. So packet capture option is also available in Palo Alto Firewall box. Here we can verify all type of logs. Next topic, we can discuss about high availability, or you can say failover concept. For example, I have one firewall device. And this firewall is connected with LAN side portion. This side we are using as a ISP side network. So I have a design. I have firewall device with LAN interface, WAN interface. We have proper configuration. We have IP address on interface. For example, this is your LAN interface, fast Ethernet 0/0. This is fast Ethernet 0/1. We have proper IP address configuration 192.168.10.1/24. This side is public side interface. For example, 99.99.99.99. So into this firewall device, we have proper IP address configuration, routing configuration, policy configuration. You can say traffic is traveling. Through the firewall device. No problem. Everything is working fine. But into this design, we have single firewall box. We have single firewall box. In case if this Palo Alto firewall box goes down, then your LAN users, they cannot go on internet side. They cannot access internet resources. So into this design, we can go with backup plan. We can go with backup plan. We can add one more firewall device here. We can add one more firewall device. So this is firewall box 2. This is firewall box 1. So we can add one more firewall device. If you are working with Palo Alto, FTD, Cisco ASA, FTD, Cisco ASA firewall box, you can configure high availability only in between two firewall box. Only in between two firewall box. But if you compare with FortiGate, firewall box or checkpoint firewall box, you can configure high availability in between 8 firewall box. In a single high availability cluster, you can add 8 firewall box. But in Palo Alto, in FTD, in Cisco ASA, you can configure high availability or failover only in between two firewall box. So yes, we can add firewall box 2 into this design. This is my backup firewall box. You can say standby firewall box. Let's change this design. So I have a switch here. This is switch number 2. This is ISP side portion. And this side is your LAN side portion. In between firewall box 1 and firewall box 2, we are using a link. This is called high availability link. You can say HA1, or you can say control link. We have HA2, data link. In case if you are working with Cisco ASA, Cisco FTD, checkpoint firewall device, FortiGate firewall box. So in these firewall devices, you need single failover link. For example, you have 2 firewall box, you need single failover link here. You can say failover link, or you can say high availability link. In ASA, FTD, checkpoint, and FortiGate. But in Palo Alto, we need 2 separate link. HA1 control link and HA2 data link in Palo Alto firewall. But in FortiGate, ASA, FTD, checkpoint, you need single failover link. Now, so second firewall box, my point is second firewall box I'm using for high availability. And for high availability, we can discuss here active, passive, high availability option. We can discuss active, passive. Active, passive, high availability. This is high availability mode, everyone. Active, passive, it's a high availability mode. In active passive mode, you can utilize one firewall box in your high availability cluster. For example, one firewall box is actively manage your traffic, and next firewall device status is what? Passive firewall box, or you can say standby firewall box. All the traffic is traveling via this firewall box one. All the traffic is traveling via this active firewall box. If active firewall box goes down, then this passive firewall box will become active, and traffic is automatically traveling via this side. This is called high availability. Yes, any question?
So this concept is only applicable in the scenario when firewall 1 goes down. It cannot be used to manage the traffic, like it cannot be working in a scenario like if there is a high load, then some of the traffic can go through firewall 2. That's not how it works.
See, this is high availability. You can only utilize one firewall box at a time, Ashwani. This is active passive scenario. You can only utilize one firewall box. All the traffic is traveling through active firewall box. For example, firewall box 1. In our scenario, firewall box 1 is an active firewall box. All the traffic will travel through active. If active goes down, then passive will become active, and now traffic is traveling through second firewall box. Clear this point?
Okay.
Can you repeat your question again?
Yeah, like I asked the same thing, like only in the scenario when firewall 1 goes down, only then firewall 2 becomes active and the traffic starts moving to firewall 2.
Yes.
It cannot be a scenario that half of the traffic goes through firewall 1, half goes through firewall 2 to manage
No,
the
you
traffic.
cannot do this in Palo Alto. You can do this in FortiGate.
Okay.
In FortiGate, we can go with yes, Tuhin, any question?
No, nothing. It's all right. That's an active scenario.
Active scenario, yes. I'm telling you, see, in FortiGate, you can go with active lab. In FortiGate, in active, what we can do, we can utilize all the firewall device in high availability cluster. Okay, in our training, we'll focus on active passive, but I can show you active lab, no problem. What is active? In active, you can utilize all the firewall device in your high availability cluster. All the firewall device. But firewall box 2, my point is what? My point is firewall box 2. Now, firewall box 2 is also an active firewall box. Firewall box 1 is also active firewall box. But firewall box 2, it's a copy of firewall box 1. It's a copy of firewall box 1. We have same configuration on firewall box 2. And into this design, firewall box 1 will act as a controller. This firewall box will act as a controller. Both the devices you can utilize. But all the traffic will hit on this controller device. This controller will share the load with firewall box 2. Ashwini, clear my point? But this concept you can utilize in FortiGate. In Palo Alto, you can configure, no problem. But in Palo Alto, active passive is a popular option.
Sure.
Why active is good in FortiGate? Because in a single high availability cluster, we can add 8 firewall box. We can utilize 8 firewall box. Clear now?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, now we can discuss in detail what is HA high availability link 1, control link, what is data link, what is troubleshooting scenario. Okay, what is the requirement to configure high availability? These options we can discuss in detail. Only this high availability will take minimum 2 to 3 hours with theoretical and practical implementation. Module number 6, it's a practice. Here I can share with you some dumb question. One topic is not mentioned here. This is called Palo Alto Firewall packet flow. This topic is not mentioned here, and this is very important topic for firewall device. It's a very important topic. Palo Alto Firewall packet flow. How traffic is traveling through Palo Alto firewall device. This topic we can discuss in module number 16. For packet flow, we can use this slide. This is complete Palo Alto Firewall packet flow architecture. Packet flow. Here we can discuss what is slow path, what is fast path, and this is Palo Alto Firewall complete packet flow page. So we can discuss this module. It is not mentioned here, but we can discuss in module number 16. So these are the topic discussion. Before start Palo Alto firewall device, let's talk about basic idea about firewall box. Aarti, Ashwini, Rajat, Ronit, Rupa.
I'm good, thanks.
Let's talk about basic of firewall box. Can anyone help me? What do you think about firewall box, everyone? Let's talk about basic concept about firewall box. What is firewall box? Any idea? Can anyone help me? What do you think about firewall box, everyone?
It is kind of used to manage the incoming and outgoing traffic, I guess.
Yes. And it's a one feature. Can anyone help? What do you think about firewall box? Yes, Arthur.
I think it, detects all the malicious traffic, which is to and fro by the systems and the servers.
This firewall can detect malicious activity also.
Yeah.
Yes, Ashwani.
Yeah, like adding to what Aarti just said, managing and controlling the incoming traffic in a manner that anything that's good for the network will only be going forward, and it's going and blocking and filtering out the malicious content. So we are keeping our environment safe. That's the basic role of firewall.
Yes, firewall is a security appliance, everyone. Okay, let's continue our discussion. What is firewall device? Firewall is just like a router. Remember always. Firewall is just like a router. Okay, in router, what we can configure? We can configure routing, no problem. You can configure in firewall box. In router, we can configure NAT. Yes, you can configure in firewall box. In router, we can configure VPN, no problem. You can configure in firewall device. So firewall is just like a router. It means routers feature we can utilize in firewall device. Firewall is just like a router, but yes, in firewall we have some advanced feature, okay, which router cannot provide you. What is firewall device? You can say firewall is a system, or you can say a group of system that can manage access between networks. Between networks means what? We are familiar with LAN network. We are familiar with WAN network. What is LAN network? Your private network portion. Your private network portion is what? LAN side network. What is your WAN side network? Your public side network. Your public side network is called what? WAN side network. So we are familiar with private network and public network. We are familiar with LAN network and WAN network. But in firewall device, we have one more type of network. It's called DMG network. DMG network. Demilitarized zone. Demilitarized network. So we are familiar with LAN and WAN. What is the use of DMG network? Let's talk about scenario. For example, I have one firewall box. I have one firewall device. Firewall device. Any firewall device. I'm not talking about Palo Alto. Any firewall box. Firewall device. And this portion is your LAN side portion. This portion is what? Your LAN side portion. In LAN side portion, you have multiple servers. For example, your company web server, your company SMTP server, company DNS server, company FTP server, and yes, some computers in LAN side, computer, laptop, desktop, and company confidential servers. Here we have 2 or 3 company confidential servers. So all the devices I'm using in a LAN side portion. For example, I don't know anything about DMG network. Okay, I have an idea about LAN network and WAN network only. So I'm putting all my devices in LAN side portion. Now this side is your ISP side portion, ISP side network, WAN side network, you can say, WAN side network. Now into this design, if you want to allow some traffic from outside, for example, this outside machine can access web server, for example. So to allow traffic from WAN network to LAN side network, you need to configure policy here. You need to configure policy. For example, in Cisco ASA, you can configure ACL. In Palo Alto, you can create security policy. In FortiGate, you can create firewall policy. In Checkpoint, you can create access control policy. So you need to create policy. And in policy, what information you can add? You can add source IP, destination IP, service, or protocol. So in policy, you can add L3 information. You can add L4 information. Yes, I can create policy. So I'm creating a policy into this firewall device. In policy, I can mention I can mention this source IP can communicate with this web server. So because of policy, this outside machine can access, to this web server. No problem. Because of firewall policy. Because of policy rule. But traffic is coming from outside, everyone. Traffic is initiated from outside. Traffic is coming from untrusted network. This traffic is coming from untrusted network. So it may be possible this traffic can try to compromise your other devices. Everyone, traffic is coming from untrusted network. It may be possible. This traffic can try to compromise other devices. Everyone can hear me, right?
Yes.
Because traffic is coming from untrusted network. It may be possible. So what I'm doing into this design, I'm trying to put these servers in a separate network. I'm trying to put these servers in a separate network. So what I'm doing, I'm creating a separate network here. Here's a switch. And this network is called DMG network. It's just a name, everyone. DMG, it's just a name. You can use your name, my name, no problem. It's just a name. DMG network. And I'm putting all the servers here. I'm putting all my servers here. For example, company web server, SMTP server, DNS server, FTP server. So these servers are publicly allowed. These servers are publicly allowed for outside user. That's why I'm putting all these servers in a separate network. In a separate network, it's called DMG network. Now this time outside machine can hit traffic on public facing interface. And as per your configuration, firewall will redirect this traffic on DMG side network. Yes. I can show you how to redirect our traffic. We can discuss here a topic, DNAT, destination net. With destination net, firewall can redirect traffic on DMG side network. Yes. So outside machine can hit on public facing interface. Firewall will redirect this traffic on DMG side. So your LAN portion, this LAN network is secure now. So clear this point? Why we need DMG network? In DMG network, we can put our servers, and these servers are publicly allowed for outside user. Everyone clear this point?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Now, let's talk about next point, common concept for any firewall device. This is called stateful firewall inspection. Stateful firewall inspection. This is common concept for any firewall device. Stateful firewall inspection. So for this, I'm using Cisco ASA firewall device. You can use any firewall box. I'm using Cisco ASA, for example. So this ASA is connected with LAN side portion. Wait. Okay, now let's continue. So this portion is what? Your LAN side portion. You have multiple computers this side. This is your LAN side portion. Now this side, I'm using as a ISP side network. ISP side network. On ISP side, yes, we have a server, for example, 8.8.8.8. Cisco ASA firewall device, it's using a concept, security level concept. Cisco ASA, it's not a zone-based firewall device. It's using a concept is called security level. So if you go to any interface, for example, this is fast Ethernet 0/0, this is fast Ethernet 0/1. If you go with any interface, for example, if you go to this 0/0 interface and if you type this predefined keyword INSIDE, if you type this predefined keyword inside keyword on any interface, then this interface will get a security level 100. Security level 100. Let's go to this outside interface. And in this public facing interface, I'm using any keyword, not inside, any other keyword, your name, my name. You can type anything. For example, I'm using outside keyword. Outside keyword. So this interface will get a security level 0. So security level range is in between 0 to 100. Why we are creating this design, everyone? We are trying to discuss what is stateful firewall inspection. It's a common concept for any firewall device. Any firewall device. So now this inside machine 192.168.10.10. This inside machine is trying to communicate with this outside server 8.8.8. This traffic will go and hit on firewall interface in Cisco ASA firewall device by default. By default, traffic is allowed from higher security level to lower security level. No need to configure any policy. No, only in Cisco ASA firewall device. By default, traffic is allowed from higher security level to lower security level. No need to configure any policy. So when inside machine will hit traffic on this interface security level is 100. Inside machine is trying to communicate with 8.8.8. So traffic is trying to travel to lower security level. And as per default concept, if traffic is traveling from higher security level to lower security level, traffic is allowed. So traffic is traveling through the firewall device. Traffic is traveling through the firewall device. And when traffic is traveling through the appliance, when traffic is traveling through the firewall box, then firewall will maintain the state of connection in a table. State of connection in a table, it's called state table, you can say. State table, you can say, or you can say connection table, or you can say session table. So when traffic is traveling through the appliance, through the firewall box, then firewall will maintain the state of connection in a connection table. What it maintain? It maintain a source IP, source port number, destination IP, destination port number. What is source IP as per our task? What is source IP? 192.168.10.10, right? So 192.168.10.10. What is source port number? Random port number. So I'm using 52,000, for example. Destination IP 8.8.8.8 and destination port number. For example, inside machine trying to access port number 443. 443. So traffic is traveling. When traffic is traveling through the firewall device, firewall will maintain the state of connection in connection table. No problem. Now, what about reply packet? What about reply packet? When 8.8.8 will send a reply packet will hit on this interface, everyone. Reply packet will hit on this interface, and this interface security level is what? 0. So now this time traffic is trying to travel from lower security level to higher security level. Higher to lower, everything is allowed. But lower to higher, everything denied. So when reply packet, my point is what? When reply packet will hit on this firewall interface, when any traffic will hit on firewall in any interface, then firewall will check this traffic information. Is there any entry available for this traffic in my state table? In my state table, firewall is trying to verify. Is there any entry available in my state table? So firewall can verify traffic is coming from 8.8.8. Yes, I have an entry. And this 8.8.8 is trying to communicate with 192.168. Yes, I have an entry. So firewall can verify this is not a new session. This is not a new traffic. No. I have an information in my state table. I have information in my session table. So traffic was initiated from inside network. It is not a new traffic. Because when traffic is traveling through the firewall device, then firewall will maintain the state of connection. If entry is available, it means what? This is not a new traffic. So based on state table information, firewall can verify this is not a new connection. It's just a reply packet because of session table information. Traffic was initiated from inside network and it's just a reply packet. So if just a reply packet, traffic is allowed. Now this concept is called stateful firewall inspection. What is stateful firewall inspection? If traffic is traveling through the firewall device, then firewall will maintain the state of connection in connection table, then forward the packet to the outside. When reply packet will come, firewall will check this traffic information in session table. If information available, it's allow, otherwise drop. This session table information, state table information, you can verify in any firewall device. We are working with Palo Alto. I will show you state table information. When traffic is traveling through the firewall box, you can verify session table information. I will show you. Clear this point, everyone?
Yes.
Everyone? Okay. Now let's talk about one more concept, one more common concept for any firewall device. Firewall mode. Firewall mode. We can use our firewall device in two modes. Either we can use our complete firewall box as a NAT mode firewall device, or you can say as a L3 firewall box. We have one more option. We can use our complete firewall appliance as a layer 2 firewall box, or you can say transparent firewall device. Transparent firewall device. I have one firewall box, for example, one firewall box. In case if this firewall box I'm using as a L3 firewall box, in case I'm using this box as a L3 firewall box, so these interfaces are called L3 interfaces, everyone. These are what? L3 interfaces. L3 interfaces. Just like a router interface, okay? You can configure IP address on these interfaces. You can configure IP address. You can configure routing into this box. NAT, yes, you can configure. VPN, yes, you can configure. And you can also utilize next generation firewall feature. Next generation firewall feature. But in case, if you are using this complete box as a layer 2 firewall box, if you are using this complete box as a transparent firewall device, so these interfaces are called L2 interfaces. I'm not talking about switchboard. No, it's not a switchboard. No, it's a L2 interface. It means we cannot configure IP address on any interfaces. We cannot configure IP address on any interfaces. We cannot configure routing into this box. NAT, no. VPN, no. But it's a next generation firewall box, so we can utilize next generation firewall feature. So now you can see, if I'm using this box as a layer 3 firewall box, I have a great feature, right? If I'm using this complete box as a layer 3 firewall box, I have a great feature. I can configure IP address on interfaces. I can configure routing, NAT, VPN. It means if I'm using this box as a layer 3 firewall box, I can connect with internet directly, no problem. I can configure VPN option. But in case if I'm using this complete box as a layer 2 firewall box, I have limitation. I cannot configure IP address on any interface. I cannot configure routing, NAT, VPN. No. We have limitation with layer 2 firewall box. So the point is, in this scenario, we can use our complete box as a layer 2 firewall box because we have great feature with layer 3 firewall box. What is the scenario for layer 2 firewall box? Let's talk about scenario. For example, I'm working in a existing routing switching design. Okay. I'm working in a existing routing switching design. For example, I have one router device, and this portion is your ISP side portion. This side you are using your as a LAN side portion. So this is your LAN subnet. This is what your LAN subnet. Into this existing design, Wait 2 minutes. Okay, now, so this portion, see, this is your LAN subnet, everyone. LAN side network. This is what your WAN side portion, WAN side network. Into this design, everything is working fine. Okay, you have this is routing switching design, live network. Okay, this machine can hit traffic to the switch. Switch is forwarding traffic to the gateway, and based on routing table, router is forwarding traffic to the outside. Everything is working fine. Into this existing design, into this network, I want to deploy a complete next generation firewall device into this existing design. So yes, I can deploy my firewall box here, and I'm using this box as a layer 3 firewall box. I'm using this box as a layer 3 firewall box. If I'm using this box as a layer 3 firewall box, so these interfaces are called L3 interfaces, just like a router interface. Each interface will participate in different subnet, just like a router interface. So if you are using this box as a layer 3 firewall box into this existing design, so you need to change your existing IP address scheme. You need to change your existing IP address scheme. Okay, this portion is a different network. This portion is for different network. You need to change your existing IP address scheme here. No problem. I want to deploy a layer 3 firewall box. I can change, I can deploy, I can use it, no problem. But in case if I don't want to change anything into this live network, I don't want to change any IP address scheme, but I want to deploy this complete firewall box as a next generation firewall box, so I can use this firewall device as a layer 2 firewall. Into this live network, I don't want to change any IP address scheme. I don't want to change anything. And I want to deploy a complete next generation firewall device. I can use as a transparent firewall box. These interfaces are what? L2 interfaces. No need to configure IP address on these interfaces. So again, you have single subnet. Yes, you can define this is LAN interface, this is WAN interface. To allow your traffic from LAN zone to WAN zone, you need to configure your policy. Yes, it's a firewall box. To allow your traffic from one zone to another zone, you need to configure policy. And it's a next generation firewall device. You can also utilize next generation firewall feature. Clear this point? Arthi, Ashwini, Rajat, Saudit, Rupa,
Yeah.
Yep.
Vivek, Tuhan, Tuhi. So this is what our discussion today, everyone. Let's continue this topic tomorrow, everyone, same time. Okay.
Okay.
And please,
Sure.
please share your email ID in WhatsApp group. I'm sharing all the slides. EVND software.
Okay.
Sure.
Bye, everyone. Take care, guys.
Thank you,
Thank
Jit.
you. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Bye.
Thank
Okay,
you.
guys. Bye-bye.